In this edition of Highlights in African American Studies, we will talk about Josephine Baker, who was the first black woman to star in a major motion picture on December 21st, 1934. Josephine Baker was born Frida Josephine McDonald on June 3, 1906, in St. Louis, Missouri. Her parents were washerwoman Carrie McDonald and vaudeville drummer Eddie Carson. Carson later left his family, and her mother went on to marry an unemployed man named Arthur Martin. Together, they had 3 children. Josephine grew up poor and discriminated against for being black. She cleaned houses and worked as a babysitter for rich white families who reminded her not to kiss their babies. At 13, she ran away from home after witnessing the race riots in St. Louis in 1917. At 16, she was touring the United States with the Jones Family Band and the Dixie Steppers in 1919. Dancing and performing comedy sketches. It would be her ability to clown, mug, and improvise, as well as her appearance as a tall, slim black girl, that would solidify her presence in the entertainment business and prove that she belonged on a stage. Soon, Baker was brought to Paris on a salary that was more than what she earned in New York. She thrived in theater performances and dances with other African Americans, including jazz star Sidney Bechet. Baker introduced Le Jazz Hot and went on to international fame on the wave of French intoxication for American jazz and exotic nudity. Josephine rivaled Gloria Swanson and Mary Pickford as the most photographed woman in the world, and by 1927 she earned more than any entertainer in Europe. She starred in her first film, Zouzouw, on December 21st, 1934, making her the first black woman to star in a major motion picture. When she returned to the U.S. 2 years later, she was met with racism and ridicule, the New York Times calling her a Negro wench. When she returned back to France, she aided the troops during World War II by smuggling messages written on her music sheets. She was later awarded the Medal of the Resistance with Rosette and named a Chevalier of the Legion of Honor by the French government for hard work and dedication. When she returned to the U.S. with newfound confidence, she decided to fight the media, and in August 1963 to attend the Civil Rights March in Washington, D.C., a march that pushed for equal rights among all races. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, named May 20th Josephine Baker Day in honor of her efforts. It was also during this time that she began adopting children, forming a family she often referred to as the Rainbow Tribe. Josephine wanted to prove that children of different ethnicities and religions could still be brothers. Josephine Baker performed at Carnegie Hall in 1973 with a standing ovation from black and white people. Later, she would die of cerebral hemorrhage on April 12, 1975. The French government honored her with a 21-gun salute, making Josephine Baker the first American woman buried in France with military honors.